Sending data. It's gotta sound good. That's a necessity, right? It must 100%. All right. So, something feels off right now. Every headline is loud, but none of them are clear. So tonight, we are breaking it down piece by piece. If you want your take heard, super chat it. Members, I'm locking in with you first. Let's build something real here, right? Might as well. And what is our dear POTUS saying? What in the world? Along with all that drama.
Incredible, including what took place in the countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have, there's something going on, and it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin?
Yeah, I don't want to, I have learned things that will be very interesting, I think.
He's got to keep some secrets. Come on, what are you talking about, lady?
In the next few days, you'll find out.
Will there be any consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President Zelensky?
Yeah, there will be. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week, they lost 7,000, between the two countries, 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, you know, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
President, have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
Man.
Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with it. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to L.A. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
There you go.
Mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in.
We're going
When
in.
you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter.
That's
You're
what
safe.
needs to happen.
Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C., is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open.
That's amazing. Restaurants are opening. Stephen Kelly jumping in on the chat. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining in on the chat. We're going live every day at 2026. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in some super chats. I love you. The Lord loves you. Let's hear what the POTUS has to say. And let's make all of these cities great again.
Every week, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah.
Mr. One Boston has joined the chat. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network.
Chandra Sivaram says, I'm not from U.S. Doesn't U.S. people believe his lies? I feel like 3 lies, 1 half truth, 1 political ideology. My goodness. Tell me about his 3 lies and 1 half truth and 1 political ideology. Would like to know. Thank you, buddy, for jumping in on the chat. Mr. One Boston says, anti-war has an interesting omission from the State Department. They said they did this war entirely for Israel. Breaking news. Is that accurate? My goodness.
Asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city. One of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. We had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift the gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the...
Look at these people laughing in the background. She's trying to hold her laugh. This dude is laughing. My goodness.
Police, as you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with... There had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. We took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2
Thank you, Mr. Boston. Appreciate it.
2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it.
Chad Collington jumping in on the chat saying, imagine how much gas would be with Harris. What do you mean by that? If Harris was with Trump?
And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right
Thank the Lord. And we're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, throw in a super chat if you want to be noticed. Become a member. I love you.
Down the
bipartisanship. It matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives.
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there.
Nice.
And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And you know, remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is But he got up and said we did it.
He's got to take credit for it, right?
He didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. You know, we have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it.
True.
And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat. But when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were badly wounded with bullets, I say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this, I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. You know, Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, you know, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marine, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA. They're talking about the job that we're doing. Everybody. We have the best economy. We have a very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country is the richest, the strongest, the most powerful. But if for some reason some liberal court, I'm talking about the court that just ruled, where even an Obama judge voted in favor of us, which I gave him a compliment yesterday, as you know. I said that took great courage. But it's a liberal court, and it's going up to the Supreme Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country...
You see, that's a huge issue. Huge issue. What happens if a liberal court decides to create a ruling? Is it actually fair?
Is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason somebody wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it because there's nothing so popular as what's happened to our country. Our country is doing so well. But we had a liberal court gave us a very shocking ruling. And that ruling is basically saying that the trillions...
How you doing, Sleepy Watcher? Happy to have you in the chat, buddy.
...billions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world, that they'd like...
How you doing, User TT? Good to see you, buddy.
...like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of...
We got Cindy Prim saying, I won't smile until he's gone. The tryptamine dream says, smile in a morbid way, I guess.
The people behind that lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries. I might add.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI. generated.
So,
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why?
Mr. One Boston, 15,000. Is that accurate? My goodness. May their souls rest in peace.
They're all.
maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think.
Yeah.
So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed.
Mr. Jeff 622 says, double tap the screen for a somersault. That's right. Make sure you all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member. We love you. We need you. You get so many benefits as a member, helping you with AI, video editing, and a bunch of other fun things. Throw in some super chats. They get recognized first, and let's learn something together. We're building the best community on earth here, and you are a part of it.
Those windows they're all sealed. You can't open them.
What you were saying regarding the federal.
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, you know, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up, from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Waffle Jackson has joined the chat. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Mr. President, I want to follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability.
Well, they ruled against our country, the court, and they ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court.
You called it highly partisan in your
Well, it
social
certainly
media
is.
posts.
It certainly
and in
is.
fact, it was along ideological lines, 7-4.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges that was appointed by President Obama voted in favor of the tariffs because he felt it was imperative for our country to thrive and survive even. And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it because you don't see that often.
So my question is, I suspect you're going to appeal that.
Benjamin Linehan has jumped into the chat saying, I'm in Australia, and I love this man for sticking up for the West. Old values he holds and the common sense he speaks. Well said, well said. Happy to have you here, buddy. Thank you for your support.
But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way, all these countries signed agreements. As an example, they're all happy. Everybody's happy. But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because, you know, when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that. Because the stock market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, you know, all of that money that's going to be invested, trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined. We are leading very substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country.
Absolutely.
That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that president, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60 votes.
You
I'd
don't
love to
think you
do
get
that.
enough
Oh,
votes?
if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need, you know, a certain number in the House. I think we'd get, I don't know, we have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in so much money. And here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars.
There you go. Make that money. Kudzanai Chibisa says, King Liar.
Signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe. And those countries are paying us $950 billion, and they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years.
True, Eric.
And I can't imagine it happening.
Hey, Tara.
On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever. But on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay.
Introducing
You talked about controlling the sky. On Sunday, the satellite signal of Ursula von der Leyen's plane was alleged.
With Ursula? Well, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman. And so what are you asking me about her?
NATO is concerned about it, about this.
Sure, NATO is concerned about it. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. You know? Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Get away from those tweets.
The tariffs on India from 50%.
What does that mean?
Are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India? You had posted.
No, we'll get along with it because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example. Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley Davidson went to India and built a motorcycle plant.
What do you expect?
And now they
What
don't
do you
have to pay
expect?
tariffs. Same thing as us. So what we're doing is literally thousands of companies are coming into the U.S., car companies, AI.
Nice.
But, more traditionally, car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. When you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Mr. President,
Go ahead,
in
please.
light of the Minnesota shooting last week, the Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats and
So
violence?
religious liberty is so important. And
Absolutely important.
we're talking about every religion now. And we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done. And we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
On Space Command, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. It will get somebody else.
Colorado.
The problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system. I have so many friends in Colorado. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple.
Always.
It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission with him and Scoop Jackson and some people, highly regarded people. And they said the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason, the Democrats cheat. And they cheat like, they're not stupid. That's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good on management. They're no good at government. But they're great at cheating. And they stick together, too. I give them credit for sticking together. Please.
Tune Triple X's plans. You believe this stuff? Should I believe this stuff? What do you guys think? Is this stuff accurate or not accurate?
And this is a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We've all can agree with that.
Big.
Is there any idea the economic impact this has on the state and on that local area?
Katie, do you want to answer that?
Look,
I mean, this. Go ahead.
Please go.
Go on, Katie, and answer that. And if y'all become a member, or if you guys throw in a super chat, you'll see Veronica. And everyone loves Veronica. She's the best in the world. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, going live every single day of 2026.
This is going to be tremendous. I mean, the state of Alabama, what we've seen through this process is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get in the way of what is best for the warfighter, what's best for national security. And the state of Alabama is about to show the country the best among us. So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous. There at Redstone Arsenal, we're proud to house everything from the FBI to headquarters there for material command to a number of things. We obviously have NASA with Marshall Space Flight Center, and so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs. With 3,000 spin-off. Look at this. This is teamwork right here. So we are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
And I've got a housing question, if you could, just for a second, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
please.
Owning a home and going about the American dream seems like it's out of touch for a lot of Americans. Just recently, you pushed out a statement about addressing an emergency housing situation.
That's right. We're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just...
How amazing would it be if homes became affordable again? Much, much more affordable than they are now.
Well, we need a little help from the Fed. We have a man named Jerome Too Late Powell. You probably heard of him. He's too late. He's way too late. And the economy is so strong that it's pushing through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well that we're pushing through it. But it makes it very hard for people to get.
Benjamin Linehan jumping in on chat saying, thank God Trump beat Harris. In what was the most critical election in world history, only USA, Hungary, Poland, and perhaps Italy have conservative governments in the Western world. Just subscribe. Thank you for the subscription, buddy. Happy to have you on board.
Get the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus, it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade. And numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by a liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations asking to get help from the United States government, when they've been doing this to us for 40 years, that's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden-era action that you're now reversing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews. But I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something here, you know, for 150 years they wanted a ballroom at the White House. We're doing something at the highest level using great architects and all. And, you know, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in D.C. And D.C. is like a different place. And, you know, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place.
That's so important for a city, especially DC. You know, the crime has been known to be so bad in Washington, D.C. Thank the Lord it's cleaning up.
Washington, D.C. is great. Now, we're going to also beautify it. We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians.
Sulam, Julie, how you doing, buddy?
We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. We'll do the whole tunnel instead of, you know, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. You know, they've been up 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. we're going to have this place spick and span. It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. It's going to be, you'll be proud of Washington again. Go ahead, please.
Absolutely.
So China's having
Wonderful.
a massive
Looking forward to
military
that.
parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret
These are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement. 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay,
Very cool.
so Huntsville, Alabama, we
Rocket
love
City.
Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't.
Jonathan Aviles is saying because these AI sucking up all of our water. Very, very valid point. Yeah, how I'm guessing the water is used to cool down these huge server farms, and from what I understand, it's not too good for the surrounding cities. There must be a solution, right? There must be a solution.
Right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in.
Paul Struick says crime is a symptom of. What do you think it is? You know, some people might say media, you know, misguidance, perspective, ego. Someone has just a huge ego and doesn't want to put in the effort to become successful. So they start crime and then they pay the punishment, or coercion. And there's also that one thing, what's it called? Fraud. Yeah, fraud. Like those Somalians and maybe the other types of people in Los Angeles and San Francisco. What do you guys think? What a great question, Paul. Crime is a symptom of. Make sure you all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every single day of 2026.
In more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away number one in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting.
Honestly, Trap Go D. I guess thank you for the compliment, buddy.
Went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield. We're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to...
Connecting Rabbit Holes 2506. Good morning, buddy. How you doing? Cool, man. 7362. Thumbs up for Trump. There you go, buddy.
Say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation
How you doing, James Bellamy? Didn't see your chat, buddy.
Has worked together. Both chambers, both parties, Phil, was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our warfighter is put first. And we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Tommy?
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama.
Great accent
we
right
need
there, buddy.
help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX. It is the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this.
Building jobs,
we look
buddy.
forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Absolutely.
Here.
JD, would you like to say something?
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it, Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security.
That's
and
right.
Today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security.
How you doing,
You
Mazen?
think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and
Very
all
kind.
of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Anybody?
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama, we're very grateful. Thank you and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making priorities the defense and the warfighter and the safety of this nation. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the President held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the President named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this President standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs, and that's Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you very much. Good job. So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now? You're not going to call me anymore and talk about...
Mr. Trump is so nice and such a host, and the way he addresses everyone, he's a classy man. He's so entertaining. Do we remember any other presidents this entertaining? How you doing, Terry? Good to see you, buddy. And just so y'all know, we're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat if you want.
About this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat.
Nice.
And you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran.
Dark Omega ZX Origin says JFK to answer your question, 1337. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But
100%. I can't read that comment because, but yeah. I think everybody knows, buddy.
Even the rockets go, if you can say, by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to...
Sounds about accurate. Forever Roaming says Trump is not a politician. He's a businessman. Yeah, first and foremost, I think he is a businessman. And do you think that's the reason he's finding so much success as a politician?
Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
President Trump, something completely different, but not a big viral social media trend over the weekend.
Happy to have you on board, Dark Omega. Thank you, buddy.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
Shamrock has joined the chat, saying when Trump ends this second term, send him over to the UK. We need a real leader that puts us first. How hilarious would that be? I would love to see Trump with an English accent, bro. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Hilarious. Playing the invisible harmonica. Excuse me. When we're winning, we're just winning. Oh my gosh, with an English accent.
That I own pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying, like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people know I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
Something else. We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors, you can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. It'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have, there's something going on, and it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin?
Yeah, I don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President Zelensky?
Yeah, there will be. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week, they lost 7,000, between the two countries, 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yep.
Have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful.
How wild is it? He has the cojones to call him Gavin Newsom.
And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
For sure, De Bono. Absolutely.
Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with it. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and
all right, y'all, this is an image of the live chat results. And this is absolutely fascinating. So we have no out of 139 votes. Donald Trump does not make you smile. So that's 63%. And on the second poll, does Donald Trump make you smile? 64% say no. It's important to smile, y'all. It's important to smile. Try to enjoy life, you know? Try to enjoy life. I love you. The Lord loves you. Make sure you like, subscribe. Turn on those notifications. We're going live every single day. It's 1:26. Send in a super chat. Become a member. We need you. We're developing the best community here, and we are so happy to have you here.
this took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad. Really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we had a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning.
Mr. Good Citizen 9914 says, everyone in government lies. I wish you were wrong. I wish you were wrong, Mr. Good Citizen. Seems like you might be accurate, allegedly, in a lot of situations.
Most of them were African American, they were black, and they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside, we're petrified.
Benjamin, happy to have you here, buddy.
If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care of this.
Mo1888. How you doing, buddy? Let me know which one you want me to read or talk about, man. There's so many. Send me a super chat. I'll read it, buddy.
This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have...
Chicago's gonna be hot. So hot. So hot. DEI did not earn it. Absolutely. DeBuno jumping in on the chat. Muffin A1 says, send aisle, fool. Send aisle.
Over the past 6 months or so, Donald...
Is there a plot that we don't even know about with Donald Trump? What's happening, y'all? What's happening? Shall we?
Trump has fought incredibly hard to hide any and all information regarding the funding of his big ballroom, the contract, which, when you think about it, is a little strange, isn't it? Considering what a great deal it is for the American taxpayer. We're not paying for it. Considering how we've all been desperate for a ballroom exactly like this for years or decades or centuries, millennia, we've been calling out for a ballroom. Weird that he doesn't want to give us details about it. Anyway, people did fight to get access to the information, and we do now know a little bit of why he wanted to hide this and keep you from reading the details for a variety of reasons. And by the way, there has always been reason to be suspicious about this. White House officials declined to disclose the total amount of money that they raised, which should be, again, a good thing. The identities of all the donors, which they're doing the patriotic thing, right? Why would they need to be hidden? Or until recently, even basic details about the buildings.
Wait a minute, hold on. If you're gonna expose the donors, do you not know that puts them under seen and unseen pressure and dangers? What if they want to be anonymous donors? Think about that. Honestly, think about that. But then, on the other side, are they donors because they want to influence POTUS? See, that is what is on the other side of the coin. How can we stay unbiased?
Design. I guess ChatGPT hadn't got done generating it yet. Court documents show that Trump knew he was going to tear down the East Wing at least 2 months before doing so, but he never told the public, which is just like, it is a grotesque lie. That he knew for 2 months, planned to do it, kept saying it was going to be there, we're not going to get rid of it.
What's he saying here?
Which is just like, it is a grotesque lie. Tear down the East Wing at least 2 months before doing so, but he never told the public, which is just like, it is a grotesque lie. That he knew for 2 months, planned to do it, kept saying it was going to be there, we're not going to get rid of it, and then just blows it up before anyone can do anything. He should have been dragged out of the White House.
Dark Omega jumping in on the chat saying it's extremely difficult to influence somebody that is as wealthy as Trump. As what can you give a man that can provide for himself? Absolutely. But also, do you think that there's other things that outside of money that might convince him? Hopefully nothing bad, but you know.
White House for that. He should have been impeached. He should have been removed from office, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And Trump has been very tight-lipped about.
Matt M jumping in on the chat saying, why are people losing their minds over the ballroom? It's our word. Yeah, Yeah, what for? Can't we just have nice things? It's not like he's going to take it with him after his term, right? It's going to be there for the future presidents. And he's offering protection.
The contractors and the contracts. But
is it an ego flex? They're like, no. I don't want Taco Orange Man Trump and whatever other derogatory words you can call him building this this ballroom, you know?
Weirdly not about the ballroom. He has brought up the ballroom as often as health insurance and affordability. He talks about it as often as those two core issues. So here is the issue with the contracts that we're now getting thanks to lawsuits. The contract provisions taken together allow wealthy donors with business before the federal government to contribute anonymously to a...
And I don't say those types of things about POTUS. I respect him, but I'm just saying it from the perspective of someone who doesn't actually find him so favorable.
Sitting president's pet project while exempting the White House from key conflict of interest safeguards and limiting scrutiny by Congress and the public. So it should be fairly obvious that allowing rich corporations and individuals to hand Donald Trump unlimited sums of money for a thing he desperately cares about more than he's ever cared about his own kids is possibly a conflict of interest. And the White House seems to agree, which is why they've written into the contract protections that stop anything normally that would stop a conflict of interest. You don't get to get involved. They can do whatever they want based on this money, and you don't even get to know about it because Congress doesn't get to know about it. The contract resembles templates used by the Park Service for more routine fundraising partnerships, but with several notable differences. Provisions peppered throughout the agreement prevent the signatories from revealing the identities of anonymous donors, and a review process for detecting conflicts of interest with the Park Service and Interior Department makes no mention of doing the same for the president, other White House officials, or the 14 other executive departments he oversees. So in the past, if you'd been raising money and Apple had given, there would be protections to make sure that Apple was not paid back in any way. That had always been under Democrats or under Republicans, not anymore. Now Donald Trump can hand them government contracts. He can deregulate the way that they want. And these corporations are as big as they get. They include Amazon, Lockheed Martin, Palantir, Google. They all collectively have billions of dollars in government contracts already. And now there could be even more coming, and likely will be, because Donald Trump is one of the most just give and take presidents ever in terms of his corrupt projects. And so we've got more, and we will get to it. But Sharon, what do you make of what I've already revealed?
Look, the only way you're going to stop this madman and this greedy guy who cares more about, how much money do you need? And at that advanced age, being leader of the free world, is if Republicans stop him. And the only time they seem interested in doing anything is when they're on their way out. And maybe Tillis is defending another probably billionaire. I'm not sure if Jerome Powell is.
Leprechaun Ginger jumping in on the chat saying, hard not to be proud of Trump. There you go, buddy. There you go. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day at 2026, developing the best community here, and become a member if you want. Throw in a super chat if you want.
But that's all they care about. This guy is insane. And there's to be that obsessed with a ballroom that presumably you're not going to see the full benefit of, which is also alarming because that tells me that I don't know that you're planning.
Wait a minute. Doesn't that mean he's planning for the future, for future presidents? What do you mean, woman?
And to move out of the house, just like last time. I think you're planning on staying there. You're thinking of having lavish parties, calling it the Mar-a-Lago of DC. It's all of it should turn our stomachs, and none of it deserves us to say, well, we got to
How would it turn your stomach? You're building something nice for people on Earth. Where's the logic, honestly? Somebody please help me understand this woman.
prioritize this over that. Although I know why people are. This is really serious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super. Yeah, he's acting as if this is a thing that he's going to get to use, which should send a chill down everyone's spine. By the way,
oh, they're Republicans, right? They're not Democrats, right?
The article, the Washington Post, so they're revealing all this. That's good. They did good journalism here. Even they are still pretending that this thing is going to cost $400 million. even though Trump said that before he even knew what the building was going to be. And now there's all this stuff about the bulletproof glass, the drone-proof roof, all that stuff. And they're going to be building it for the next 2 years. When was the last time a building cost what they said it was going to cost before they started building it? Come on. Also, nobody's saying how much the stuff under it's going to cost that the military is building. Amazon ain't paying for that. We're paying for that. What do you think that's going to cost? $500 million? Or $1 billion? $10 billion? We have not even seen an estimate. Nothing. We're just supposed to forget about all of that. And by the way, like, look, I don't want to be like an a-hole or whatever. I'm not saying that Donald Trump should never get to use.
He doesn't want to be an a-hole. Okay, that's nice. He said it. Would she say the same thing?
This ballroom, I would be perfectly happy to have that be where they host the feast that goes along with his funeral. I'd be fine with that. He can have one event. But I'm just saying, like, it is weird that he's so invested in it, considering that he's not going to be president when it's actually operational.
Here's something for not only the Republicans, but also for the Democrats. This is something that, check out this screen change. We just changed screens. This is absolutely beneficial for you. If you can, pay attention.
Keep it right in your head. Keep your thoughts good, not bad. Keep your thoughts decent, not indecent. Keep your thoughts full of faith and not doubt, because it is in your thoughts that is determined whether you will be happy or unhappy, whether you'll be healthy or unhealthy.
If that helps you, chat, type thanks in the chat. You know, sometimes we just need that little refreshment to keep your mind right, to think those healthy thoughts. So important. We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
Iran's leaders.
We got to figure out how the U.S. naval blockade is impacting Iran. This is important.
Are known for playing the long game, but this time the pressure may be harder to absorb. A U.S. naval blockade is tightening around Iranian ports, bringing unprecedented challenges as its impact ripples across the country. Estimates indicate that the country's losses may exceed $400 million per day. Put simply, the blockade chokes.
Great question, Bud Weddle. Great question. Grimhead throwing in some knowledge in the chat.
Of an economy where over 90% of trade flows through ports, generating nearly $110 billion annually. There is another technical challenge linked to storing oil under a blockade. Reports suggest Iran entered the blockade around 15 million barrels already stored on Karak Island, a key oil hub. Because exports are restricted, more oil keeps building up in storage. At current levels, that means the facility could reach full capacity in about 8 days. If production is slow to ease pressure, the timeline only extends to around 20 days before storage is.
And just to challenge that guy's thing of like, when does a building ever get built under budget? So allegedly, often likely between 10 to 25%, but it depends on the project type, right? There's another study from Elevate Constructionists. It says on or under budget about 48% in one large data set of 16,000 plus projects. So when someone is being a journalist, sometimes it's more important to take your time and to speak the facts rather than to lie. Come on, buddy. Come on. Use your voice for good.
Is full, forcing difficult decisions over whether to cut output or risk shutting down parts of the oil system entirely. But that presents another complication. Closing wells can damage underground reservoirs and undermine future production. At that stage, the blockade is no longer just about stopping exports. It becomes a threat to Iran's oil infrastructure itself. There is also the issue of domestic fuel consumption. Every Iranian consumes more than 1 liter of gasoline per day. As a result, the country already faces a daily shortfall of around 14 million liters, which could rise to as much as 77 million liters in a crisis. This gap is covered by imports, which cost the state around 340,000 riyals, about $8 per liter, but are sold domestically for just 15,000 riyals, which is around 3 cents. If imports are cut off, it could directly affect people's daily lives and livelihoods.
Forever Roman jumping in on the chat saying, yeah, they need to stop the G side of little ones and mothers. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% accurate. Thank you for jumping in on the chat, Forever Roman.
Although Iran's strategic gasoline reserves stand around 1.56 billion liters, under a tight blockade, they could last no more than 12 days. Before this, Iran relied on 2 key ways to bypass years of sanctions and restrictions. One was known as floating oil, where crude was stored on tankers offshore, allowing production to continue and preventing damage to oil fields if pumping came to a sudden halt. The other was the shadow fleet, a network of tankers operating outside tracking systems, using hidden identities and ship-to-ship transfers to sell oil beyond international oversight. If both methods are disrupted by the US's blockade, Iran could face a shortage of hard currency, putting pressure on its banking system, currency value, and everyday life. These developments could trigger wider social and political consequences that are hard to predict.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So interesting. You know, they have so much oil, and one thing happens if they stop exporting their oil producing capabilities can diminish in huge ways. Absolutely terrifying. And if you're sensitive, you might want to skip this part. This is a Palestinian person getting harassed at his own house by somebody who's trying to take this person's house, and it's wild. It's a wild one. So if you're sensitive, good time to switch off. But just so y'all know, we're going live every single day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, make a super chat.
Fucking Nazi fuck, get the fuck out of here. Fuck off.
Fuck off?
You fuck off.
We just got attacked by a settler who tried to break into the house, threw rocks at us, and tried to spit at us.
Fucking hell.
مالا لما تزورك أبني لما تزورك أبني لما تزورك أبني تسمع قدرش خيا مانيك تزيد يا جيبي لما تزورك أبني يوم شبات شابس تزيد يا جيبي تسمع قدرش خيا شابس تسمع قدرش خيا تعرف تمانية كشرموطة أوروبية زي أنت لو إيش يبيوت خيا مانيك أنا بو
The settler threw big rocks and tried to break into the house and throw big rocks at me, at the house, at my friends here, without any accountability. They are sponsored by the Israeli government, they are supported by the Israeli media, and protected by many parliamentarians, so they go wild.
How often does this happen?
عيال على صورته على صورته ترى على صورته عيال على صورته
Alright, so take away like the language, take away the ethnicity, take away the religion, and just think about this, like in the situation of like you being in your home and someone like throwing rocks at you. And you're like, what is this deranged person doing throwing rocks at me? Like, what exactly did I do to this person?
Get the fuck out, you terrorist. Fuck.
עצור אותו, חייל! Shoot him, shoot him, as you shoot Palestinians. Shoot him. Shoot him ברגליים. Shoot him in his legs. Shoot him, חייל. As you shoot Palestinian kids, shoot him in the legs.
נזיין אותך. עוד 5 דקות על בבית שלך, שרמוטה, יא זין.
אני מפחד ממך.
אתה יודע שאתה מפחד.
כן, כן.
כן, אם לא היית שם גדרות, יא מזדיין, יא מחוואף. לא היית שם פילה בן שרמוטה.
You know, I was attacked many times here. I filed many complaints. I filed complaints against soldiers, against settlers, with videos attacking me, destroying my property, and without any real accountability. You know, he will be released in a few hours.
To be fair to the Israeli army, they did
be released in a few hours, huh? How do you think trials work over there?
for once tell him to leave, and then he attacked them, and in a truly rare turn of events, he got arrested. And of course he'll be out in a few hours and he's likely going to be back, but at least for now he's under arrest.
They do everything possible to make our life impossible, to force us to leave.
How to make our lives better and how to make the people around us their lives better as well. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day at 2026. Become a member, send a super chat. I love you, I need you. Become a part of this amazing community. We all need you. Trump let something slip? Come on. What?
Trump said something quite interesting, the Washington gaffe, meaning that he told the truth.
The United States can't take care of daycare. We're fighting war.
Okay, U.S. cannot take care of daycare. Is he referring to the Nick Shirley exposure of the Somalians and the people in California?
Wars, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things. We have to take care of one thing, military protection.
He said, okay, we're going to cut all those things that Americans actually need and want. Trump said, no, we have to have war instead. So he put in a budget in which the military spending goes up another $500 billion. And the things like he said, health and other things, oh, we can't afford that, goes down in this budget to make people who are hurting in this country hurt desperately more.
And meanwhile, we
make them hurt more and more and more and more. Basically not listening to Keep Smiling -C, who says, stop the wars. Just stop the wars, right? Stop the wars.
We know without a doubt that they have the evidence that would completely debunk the conspiracy theories and clearly lay out the truth. Whether that is the camera footage that TPUSA owns and has, 3 different angles, full 4K video that would clearly show the entire scene of the crime, the entire state of the injury, the nature of the hit, the bullet, everything. We know that they should have an autopsy required by law in the state of Utah for every murder investigation of this nature.
Are they going to? Are they going to? I think that's the question, right?
They should have an autopsy. That autopsy should have a detailed explanation of the path.
By the way, Wild Drewski, you made a comment. That's who we support from the video 3 videos ago. And that is who is... yeah, that's who America supports.
Of the bullet, the caliber of the bullet, every property of the bullet, everything about the wound. We should understand all of that, and I'm sure that they have it because it is legally required that they do an autopsy. It's all so fishy, and that's not to mention.
Oh, is that the reason someone in the chat was saying, does it smell like fish around here? Iran fish. Keep me up to date with this new lingo.
All the other stuff.
This is another heavy one, y'all. I don't know if you're ready for this one. This is a heavy one. And this is revolving the White House shooting.
They were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in. Pretty crazy, unique experience. Where are we going? Damn, you're okay.
All right. That's actually not the one I was searching for, but I'm gonna find it. There you go for the Dems.
This is all paid for. Hey, how you doing, guys? Where are we headed with these signs?
We're good, William.
Okay, so this guy's gonna drive up, and they're gonna load all the signs into this car right here. Here we go. Let's load them all into this van. See for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Witness this.
What is wrong?
What is wrong with us?
You are such a cowardly piece of shit.
Why?
You are.
Why? How am I? Who pays me? YouTube pays me. My viewers pay me.
How much
by
money do you
watching.
get? This is not real journalism. You're a fake. You complete fake journalist.
Okay. Did you or?
Speaking of, if you guys want to support, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member.
Or did you not get $20 million from Roy Neville Singham to protest? Did you or did you
How
not?
much money do you get for your right-wing bullshit? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so you can look on YouTube on Social Blade. You can see exactly how much I earned. Yeah, take a photo of me as if there isn't already a photo. Why are you taking a photo of me as if you don't already know who I am?
I don't understand.
You're all sick of me. So what are you gonna do about it?
What am I going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
Well, I don't have to do anything about it because you don't bother us that much. You don't.
Clearly
do
I am because you're videoing me.
You're just a complete idiot. You're a fake journalist.
I'm a fake journalist.
I think that you should.
What have I done that's
feel
fake?
Ashamed of yourself every single day.
You should feel ashamed for yourself for sowing division and
sidewalk. Get a real job, be a real journalist, and do something for something in your life.
how can you say with a straight face for me to get a real job? How can you keep a straight face and say that? Did you or did you not get $20 million from Roy Neville Singham? You can't deny it. Meet Layan Fulihan. She's a paid protester. Her base salary is $70,000 with an additional compensation of $8,649. So who is this woman getting paid $80K a year to protest? Layan is a Columbia alum with a Palestinian background. She holds a full-time staff position as an
getting paid to protest. I was wondering, I know some people who are just like out of the blue started posting stuff on like Instagram and doing those things. I'm like, you have absolutely like zero relation to this country that you're protesting for. It makes zero sense. And then I was like, struggling artist, got to make some money. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
An educator at the People's Forum as she protests all around New York City. Here she is alongside Taher, another paid protesting leader that we've exposed. Roy Neville Singham pays Layan to travel. That's why you see her speaking in Washington, D.C. at another protest. None of this is grassroots. Know that. Here she is being paid to argue with the police as she blocks traffic outside Columbia University.
Free Palestine! To the pen! You gotta go in the pen! You are blocking pedestrian traffic!
Here she is again with Taher alongside Mahmoud Khalil. When she's arrested, Singham is there to bail her out. You can see the People's Forum announced that her and David Chung, another paid protester who gets paid $75,000 a year to protest, were both arrested. You can get David Chung's Friedman file that consists of never-seen-before research. Lian speaks at the People's Forum about her Marxist agenda. They actually teach classes advocating for Marxism at the People's Forum. Lian celebrated Hamas's atrocities on October 7th. She tweeted out on October 7th, "Long live the Palestinian resistance." Lian reposts words from Nasrallah, the former leader of Hezbollah, saying, "Who would have thought so many young people would support Palestine? This woman in America is being paid money to promote the words of terrorists who have killed American servicemen." All right, so you can see that none of this is grassroots.
There you go. There you go. Is this the one that I'm looking for?
But none of this seems...
Oh my gosh, we were jumping around. This is exactly what I was looking for. Amateur hour. Come on, dude. Be better than this. This is gonna change your mind about what happened with the White House dinner. Hooting. And is it staged?
It's real. Like, at all. You've probably heard by now, a suspect armed with knives and guns tried to storm the White House correspondents' dinner tonight. The guy's name was Cole Allen, and he was very quickly neutralized by security. But then people online started to do a little bit of noticing. Pause to read. Yeah, I don't know about you, but it's starting to look like one big show. Beginning with what Caroline Levitt said right before the start of the event.
With what she said.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight.
Did you hear that? She said there will be some S-hots fired tonight.
This, by the way, is Trump's first time attending the White House Correspondents' Dinner as president, and CNN ran this article a few hours before saying to expect the unexpected. Within an hour of the incident, Trump tweets out a video of the shooter running through the event. Even though still, for some reason, we can't get any moving pictures of Tyler Robinson, then it turns...
Within an hour. Within an hour. We got Raymond Medina jumping in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Fake news. We got Beastiz saying it was a setup. CL Wolfwood telling me to grow some cojones and saying stuff. Thank you for the chat. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Make a super chat. Saad Tinney saying, America, get out of Arab land. What would happen if that would happen? You know, like, maybe get out of Arab land and help America. You know, be a good role model. Fix your own country first. And then if any Arab lands need help, you know, you call your buddy, Uncle Donald Trump, for some building help. Bruce Mann Jr. says, you're right. It's a setup. Yeah, let's see this, man. It doesn't stop. So yeah, they got image of this guy 1 hour after it happens, but they don't have any footage of Mr. Tyler Robinson.
Then it turns out the shooter, Cole Allen, worked at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Very interesting timing given all the UFO stories, so cue the conspiracy theorists on this one. And
A Shadow says, so it's fake? I'm not going to say anything, bro. You draw your own conclusions. We're just trying to find the truth here. We're not on any side, this or that, whatever. We're building the best community and just trying to find the truth, man. And trying to find peace.
And then there were the reactions, starting with Erica Kirk being Erica Kirk.
I just want to go find some.
I have to say, she looks very upset here, like way more upset than when her husband. Blech. Then we got Dana White just loving this whole thing.
It started getting noisy. Tables getting flipped over, guys running in with guns, and they were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
If he's just taking it all in, and it's a pretty crazy, unique experience, I think there's probably two definite options, and maybe more options. Number one, he does not GAF, give a you know what. 2, it's a setup. 3, other options. I have no idea.
Totally normal reaction
4, watching the play.
To what is supposedly.
Yeah, Dana is pretty wild. He's looking for a fight, dude. He's like, where's the fight at? Dana is looking at the shooters like, who's my next UFC guy? You know, he doesn't care. He's like, who is this? What's his name? Alan Cole. Alan Cole, you're fast, man. Let me see that. What's your jabs like? Dana White's looking for some money. He's looking for his what is that guy? He's not a light. Is he a lightweight? He's probably a lightweight. Some type of lightweight for sure. Dana's like, he can run, but can he grapple?
A presidential assassination.
Yeah, mad respect to Dana White. What a businessman and entertainer. I don't know how good he treats his fighters, but still entertaining, man. Thank you, Mark 414. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day at 2026. Become a member. Send a super chat so you get some amazing messages like that from Mark.
Attempt. But the most ridiculous thing has to be maybe this coordinated influencer campaign saying this is why Trump needs a new ballroom.
Hey, did you guys hear that? Did you actually hear that? Let's go back 10 seconds. I'll show you guys something. Oops. If you push this button right here, J, it goes back 10 seconds on YouTube.
But the most ridiculous thing has to be maybe this coordinated influencer campaign saying this is why Trump needs a new ballroom.
I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it.
We officially live in the dumbest timeline ever.
On it, Aaron Katersky has that story.
What do you guys think, chat? We got Grimhead 9583 saying conspiracy theories. It can't be the fault of the U.S. Aliens did it. My goodness. What do you think, chat?
For us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. The FBI director defended his job performance and denounced claims about his drinking, saying he's never been drunk at work.
Grimhead says replace aliens with what fits. We got a wild chat tonight.
This morning, FBI Director Kash Patel is taking aim at The Atlantic, which published claims of unexplained absences, impulsive decision-making, and excessive drinking.
I've never been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And
don't pick on Kash Patel.
Any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
Patel is now suing for defamation.
OAC has joined the chat. We don't need a ballroom. We need competent Secret Service agents and an FBI director that is not a little kitty.
And lashing out at reporters.
I can say unequivocally that I never listen to the fake news mafia. And as when they get louder, it just means I'm doing my job.
The Atlantic article said members of his security detail had difficulty waking Patel because he was seemingly intoxicated. It also said a request for breaching equipment normally used.
We got Weird Texas, deplorable veteran. Thank you for your service, buddy. Happy to have you here. Saying Pelosi on pills and drinks at work with Kamala. There you go. Thank you for your chat, buddy.
By SWAT and hostage rescue teams to quickly gain entry into buildings was made last year because Patel had been unreachable behind locked doors.
What? He's behind locked doors, unreachable? What's going on? Is he just sleeping, or is there something else going on?
Patel's boss, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, said he had not read the article but disputed its contents.
I have a lot of concerns, and my concerns are completely around the anonymous reporting that comes forth constantly, that reporters have an obligation to report, and they have due diligence that they're supposed to do.
The Atlantic said it stood by its reporting and called Patel's defamation lawsuit meritless.
And this morning, House Democrats are demanding answers from Kash Patel, writing in a letter that the allegations of heavy drinking are shocking and indicative, Robin, of
Democrats not known to lie. All right. Quit picking on Kash Patel. He did more in a year and a half than the last administration did in 4 years, right? I don't know. I'm just rage baiting right now at this moment. Pray for this is an 18 seconds video. Sophie Cunningham, first game back, right? Before the first game.
I've been dying to say this. It's finally game day. Preseason. We're here in New York. We're healthy. Huge. It feels so good
great
to be back. If you have an extra 5 to 10 seconds, minute, go ahead and cover our team in prayer, cover our league in prayer for a healthy, fun season.
Yeah, no injuries. Prayers go out to you and your team. No injuries, girl.
Wait, see you guys there. Mwah.
Is it fun? So you've been Jewish your whole life. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Theo just ask that, dude? Did you guys catch it? You didn't catch it. That was too fast. Do I need to redo it? Did you guys get it? I'm gonna redo it.
Is it fun? So you've been Jewish your whole life. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. Is it fun being Jewish? What is it like?
No, I won't say it's fun.
What is it like? Does it feel? I wonder if it feels different being Jewish. Does it feel like?
Do I wake up? I'm like, damn, I'm Jew. No,
or yeah, I get. I don't know. I guess I don't even know what I'm asking.
Theo just says some wild things once in a while. You don't know where he's gonna go with Theo, man. Theo is just, he's so hilarious, dude. So hilarious.
Anger on the streets of Jerusalem. This time, the target is not the Israeli leadership, but the right.
By the way, we're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, send a super chat if you want.
Wing American ambassador Mike Huckabee, a staunch backer of Netanyahu and settlers. Dozens of protesters gathered outside his Jerusalem home, sending a loud political and deeply personal message. Protesters called on the United States to rethink its support for Israel's current leadership. The protest quickly became a pointed political statement aimed directly at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Organizers say the message is clear. They are urging Washington to withhold backing for policies they claim are designed to strengthen Netanyahu's personal grip on power. The visuals were just as striking as the message. Protesters hailed banners depicting violent West Bank settlers with one bold line printed across: "Not Judaism, un-American." Another banner, even more direct, featured Netanyahu's image with a sharp accusation: "He fooled you on Gaza and Iran." The demonstration underscores growing divisions not just within Israel, but across the U.S.-Israel relationship itself. A relationship long built on shared values, now being questioned on the streets. For decades, Israel-U.S. ties were seen as unshakable, a cornerstone of U.S. foreign policy, a bond built on shared values, security, and strategy. But today, that alliance is under strain. So how did America's relationship with Israel become so divisive? The United States and Israel have long described their partnership as special.
God's King Snow has joined in on the chat saying no more war-related funding for any country or organization. Bill, thank you for the chat, buddy. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026.
From military cooperation to diplomatic backing, Washington has stood firmly by Israel through wars, crises, and regional tensions. But that consensus is no longer absolute. Support for Israel, once bipartisan and broadly accepted, has now become a flashpoint.
Oh my goodness.
At the heart of the divide are Israel's actions in Gaza, settlement expansion in the West Bank, and concerns over civilian casualties. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has become a polarizing figure in the United States. His policies and political moves have drawn criticism even from traditional allies. The U.S.-Israel relationship isn't broken, but it is being redefined.
A new kind of weapon is rewriting the rules of modern warfare. Cheap, precise, and nearly impossible to stop. From the battlefields of Ukraine to the front lines of Lebanon, a silent revolution in drone warfare is now threatening to upend Israel's military advantage when it comes to its war with Hezbollah. For years, drones were seen as supporting tools in Middle East conflicts. But in the latest fighting between Israel and Hezbollah, that has changed dramatically. A new generation of explosive drones has emerged, guided not by radio signals, but by fiber optic cables, according to a report by Haaretz.
We got some knowledge in the chat. Weird Texas deplorable veteran says, screaming for the Island Man files and taking little ones to those types of parades at the same time is wild work. Wild work. What happens when someone just makes a statement that you can't argue? Like right now, I have no idea how you can argue that statement. That's just a rock solid statement.
Unlike traditional drones, these systems are immune to electronic jamming. That means Israel's advanced electronic warfare defenses, once highly effective, may no longer be enough. And the implications are serious.
Johnny Vega, you say that H word one more time, buddy. I'm gonna pull up that Andy Galifianakis Hillary clip.
These drones are not only harder to stop, they're also far cheaper. Built using commercially available parts, sometimes even 3D printed, while their warheads are typically based on RPG charges or various types of grenades. They cost a fraction of traditional anti-tank missiles, yet deliver deadly precision. On the battlefield, that changes everything. Israel's military recently established a 10-kilometer security zone in southern Lebanon, designed to push threats like anti-tank missiles further away. But fiber optic drones can...
Do you think that conspiracy is true that like all of these politicians are just like best friends? Like, you know, in front of the camera, Trump and Hillary don't get along, but behind the camera, they're like complete friends.
Bypass that advantage entirely, with ranges already reaching 20 to 30 kilometers in Ukraine.
Possible.
Hezbollah is now believed to be rapidly expanding its drone capabilities, drawing lessons directly from the war in Ukraine, where drone warfare has evolved at a breakneck pace. From FPV racing drones to explosive UAVs, these systems are becoming a central weapon on the modern battlefield.
My question, John Harley jumping in on the chat saying, my question is, how do I invest in these? That's a good question. DJI was banned from the United States because of, their drone technology, which is incredible, absolutely incredible, especially for FPV and for cinematography. And one of the reasons, allegedly, was I think Trump's nephew or son became part of UMAC, Unusual Machine Company or something like that. And they're supposed to be like the ones that are taking control over the drone system. But I'm not well versed enough to give any type of financial advice, so I will not give any financial advice. But I don't know. I'd like to know as well.
And they're already making an impact. Reports indicate that dozens of Israeli soldiers have been wounded in drone attacks in recent months, with injuries often more severe, targeting the upper body, including the face, chest, and arms. Even more concerning for military planners, these drones are extremely difficult to detect and intercept. Their small size, high speed, and maneuverability make them elusive targets, while fiber optic guidance means they can't be disrupted electronically. To counter the threat, new solutions are being tested. From interceptor drones to specialized ammunition, even physical barriers.
Thank you, El Savage 5738. Happy to have you on board, buddy.
Like nets stretched across roads, a tactic already seen in Ukraine. But experts warn there is no single solution. And for Israel, the challenge is clear. A cheaper, smarter, and more resilient weapon is now in the hands of its adversaries.
A ceasefire on paper.
We're going to extend the ceasefire for 3 weeks that's already in place between Israel and Lebanon.
But fire on the ground. Tensions are rising once again along the Israel-Lebanon border, with fresh strikes and intercepted attacks pushing the region closer to escalation. The Israeli military says 3 Hezbollah fighters were killed after attempting to launch a surface-to-air missile at an Israeli Air Force aircraft. The attack, according to the IDF, was unsuccessful, but triggered an immediate response.
All right, so there's a few companies he's involved in. Power Us, a big one right now, like Power US. It's a Florida-based drone company, focuses on military drones, defense tech, counter drone systems. Donald Trump Jr. equals investor and backer. He's not a CEO, not a founder, not a chair. Then there's the I guess famous one, Unusual Machines. That's drone parts plus components company. Make things like drone motors, drone tech infrastructure. He's an investor, advisory board member, owns equity, millions in stake reported. And this is by no means financial advice to anyone. I'm just telling you like what the facts are. I'm not saying anything at all. So please be very wise with all of your decisions. Yeah, so what's the reason people are talking about this? U.S. is expanding drone warfare and defense. These companies want government contracts. His father is the president, raises conflict of interest debates, right? So yeah, he is involved in drone companies, but mostly as investor advisor, not builder operator. Obviously not a builder operator. He could be operating. Actually, he would be a better investor and advisor if he was a builder and operator. So once you build your own drones and you operate your own drones, you learn so much about it. So much. And then you realize you're like, oh, I want to customize this drone. I'm going to use like high pitched props. You're like, I'm such an idiot. Trifin, quadfin, 5-fin. Biggest name tied to him right now, Power Us. Didn't even know that. Power Us, is it? Very interesting.
Two separate incidents. Operatives from the Iran-aligned Lebanese armed group also reportedly launched rockets and an explosive drone targeting
or infinity propeller.
Israeli troops operating south of the forward defense line in southern Lebanon. Air raid sirens rang out in the northern Israeli town of Shtula as rockets were fired from across the border, but Israeli air defenses reportedly intercepted the incoming projectiles mid-air. In retaliation, Israeli forces say they struck the launcher used in the attack and destroyed another launcher that was reportedly prepared for immediate use. They also claim to have struck buildings used by the group in southern Lebanese towns of Hirbet Selm and Tulin. The Israeli military has described these actions as blatant violations of the ceasefire understandings currently in place along the border. These reported attacks and counterattacks came as U.S. President Donald Trump said Israel and Lebanon have agreed to extend an initial 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah by 3 weeks after talks at the White House on Thursday, before its expiry on Monday. Trump said the meeting between the ambassadors of Israel and Lebanon to the United States, the second high-level talks between the two countries since last week, went quote, unquote, very well.
They like each other. I found that out today, and I've sort of heard about that. They actually like each other, Lebanon and Israel. And we had...
That's good. That's very good. Lebanon and Israel like each other. Well, that's a start to peace right there. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026.
A great meeting with the very high officials of Lebanon and very high officials of Israel. And we think that the president of Lebanon and the prime minister of Israel over the next couple of weeks will be coming here. They've agreed to an additional 3 weeks of, I guess...
Just to be clear, we don't have any moderators in the chat. The Restream bot takes the stream from vertical to live and from live to vertical. So after you see Restream bot and then you see like at Simon 401 IFY, or if you see at Wild Ruski 88 official or at correct, that's who's talking. So Restream bot is just relaying the message from one chat to the next chat. No bots in here, buddy, and no mods. Actually, Barry's a mod, but he's not in here. I didn't see him. Barry, if you're in here, let me know. Haven't seen you, buddy. Everybody misses Barry.
No firing, ceasefire. No more firing. Let's see. We hope that happens. It's not going to happen between them, but they do have Hezbollah to think about. And we're going to be working with Lebanon to get things straightened out in that country. I really believe it's something we can do pretty easily, just with the power of who we are, the great people, the Lebanese people. We have our ambassador here who has done a fantastic job, ambassador to Lebanon from the United States, and we had a great...
Yeah, no mods is the best way. Yeah, it's important. You need freedom of speech, you know? You need to be able to explain yourself and, yeah, just be able to talk and communicate, you know? Maybe you'll learn something new. That's very important.
Conversation, and I think it's the beginning of something very important. It'd be a wonderful thing to get this worked out simultaneously with what we're doing in Iran.
To see what we're doing in Iran. Yeah. So there's a dating trap, and a Pentagon official fell for it. Fell for it. What? What's gonna happen here? U.S. officials leak sensitive secrets to undercover date. Nuclear chief, U.S. Army. Wild Ruski saying something. Wow. Cool, Jax. Happy to have you here, buddy. Nuclear and chemical.
That's why that's the easiest way to get intelligence. Like, just send a pretty girl, talk to the guy.
That's the easiest way to get intelligence. Thank you, Weird Text. Happy to have you on, buddy. So they get a pretty looking girl to talk to a guy to get intel. Honeypot. Honeypot. A lot of people are accusing that sweet Erica Kirk of doing that. It was actually an undercover sting by O'Keefe Media Group. Oh, O'Keefe Media Group is gnarly, bro. There's some... Dude, those guys are living on the edge.
It's all good, yeah. I don't know who, but he might kill the next guy, the son.
Oh, we actually did really cancel.
That's not intentionally, yeah. Well, I'm sure we've killed civilians in Iraq, and Iran.
All right, Waffle. See you later, buddy.
I mean, the picture that we saw was...
Miss Rose 8920 says, that honeypot works every time. Yep. Jack Style versus Freedom for the occupied states. God bless the innocent souls from Australia. And may God mercy on the souls of the fallen fighters, Israeli or Arab.
Of the desecration of a crucifix was shocking. We were heartened to see that, at least from the reports, that disciplinary measures was taken very quickly against the soldiers.
Does the Secretary General find it ironic that the Israeli Prime Minister apologized for the Jesus statue incident and the soldiers punished in a few days while thousands of mosques have been destroyed in Gaza?
I will let you draw the parallels or the irony, whatever word you want to.
Absolutely all innocent, says Pap Shen. Oh, sorry. I didn't read the first message. Never mind. That's not funny. So many innocent people. Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were being sarcastic, but you're probably responding to them. So sad, honestly. If this can stop right now, all of this war and fighting and arguing, be amazing.
Say the desecration of religious symbols, the desecration of houses of worship is unacceptable.
Unacceptable, 100%, regardless of the religion. Johnny Vega, are you talking about this guy?
Regardless.
Can't say that, buddy.
Of the religion.
Yeah. Yep.
The United States has taken Iran's greatest weapon and it's turned it into a wedge between Iran and China. Iran would love to turn Hormuz into a confrontation between the United States and China. But here's where the US has turned the tables, and this is critical to understand. The Straits of Hormuz, they're not closed to all shipping. There's only one restriction. A ship cannot load oil from Iranian ports.
That's a huge one. Choking the Iranian ports, not letting them make money. That's a tough one. So tough. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, going live every day of 2026. Become a member, send a super chat, but please subscribe. It means the world to me to have you on board.
That's it. A Chinese tanker can take oil from the UAE. It can take oil from Saudi Arabia. It can take oil from anywhere else in the Gulf. It just can't take oil from Iran. Now that's the brilliance of the strategy, because China is still functioning even though the Straits of Hormuz is closed to Iranian shipping. meaning China's able to survive. If Iran closes the Straits of Iran completely, and they threaten all shipping, they don't hurt America first. They don't even hit Europe first. They hurt China. 70% of China's oil comes from the Middle East and the Gulf. And now China has a choice. It's either going to pressure Iran to back down, or it's going to turn to the United States to reopen the route. That's the trap. Now, let me explain something that most people don't understand, and I didn't understand it before looking into this clearly either. Oil wells are not faucets. You can't just turn them on and off like the faucet in your sink. Once an oil well is operational, it just keeps flowing. In order to stop production of an oil well and cap it, the pressure to the oil well drops, fluids build up in that well, the infrastructure degrades. Sometimes you can't even restart that well. No matter what you do, you'll never get the same output. This is economic suffocation of the Iranian terror regime over time. And while all this is happening, while all of this suffocation is taking place right now, because Iran cannot get rid of its oil and its storehouses are overflowing, the negotiations are ongoing. So what do we see is unfolding in front of us? More assets from the United States are moving into the region. Carrier groups like the Bush Carrier Group, amphibious forces, and massive logistical buildup is continuing into the Middle East. Diplomacy and force, and they're running at the exact same time. In fact, there are numerous reports that there are hundreds of flights taking place over Iranian airspace, most likely looking for what a ground invasion will face, because if a ground invasion was to take place, there will be massive aerial support before U.S. troops hit that soil.
It's so fascinating when people like that break down like the whole situation over there. It's just like absolutely incredible. This is JNS TV and Doron Spielman. And yeah, this is unlike your faucet sink. Once you stop pumping it, that liquid gets in there and that can ruin the oil and just ruin everything. But yeah, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow we're going to have an amazing one. We're going live every single day of 2026. Subscribe, like, turn on notifications, share, become a member, send super chats. And if, you know, people get aggressive in the chat or in life and they just start spewing hate at you because they're drinking so much haterade, just let that hate just bounce off of you like water rolls off of a duck's back. And I will see you.